WF representing Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earned for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish that bright future we can't vanish. SE25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more rivers, reactions, fan cams, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when Eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Good evening. It was a good evening. This is obviously the Spurs match preview. We've got a game at Sellers Park tomorrow afternoon. And I will tell you for free, it's a bad sign of affairs when you've got to kind of look at the teams around you and what's happening in their games as a barometer. Because Switch were at one stage 2-0 up and 4 points clear of us in the table. Long day. Long day. JC, how's it going?
You know what, yeah? I've had a very good day. Also, I can hear myself through your speakers, so you might want to put your headphones in.
Fantastic. Luckily, I've got me here.
You know what? Today, I've done, I think, what any normal person would do in our situation. I've not checked the scores. I've not even looked at football. I've not even thought about football today. I've just been playing the new COD all day. I can't even lie to you. So, I'm happy. I'm level 34 now. So, if you know, you know. Yeah, I'm feeling good right now. But I can tell by the end of the stream, I'm not going to be very happy by the end of it. So, it's good while it lasts.
I'm changing the output. Right. Say something, JC.
Test.
All right. Now, can you hear me through your thing?
Not at all.
Perfect. All good. All right. I guess it's strictly headphones from now on. But yeah, we're here for the Spurs preview. Yeah. I'm glad you're well. I'm actually doing well myself, to be honest. Been very busy. I will reveal all a little bit later down the line. Good news, family related. Not another kid, by the way. But yeah, I'll reveal all a little bit later on down the line. But yeah, it's a game now that I don't think anyone's expecting anything from it. So we'll happily take a point. But most importantly, I think we've just got to show these two things, for me personally. A bit more heart and desire and a change of formation. And then we see how we get on from there. Let's start it off with the elephant in the room, and that is one certain Adam Wharton. Now, reports have come out this week that basically if he was to have surgery, recovery will take about 3 weeks and then he will be back on the pitch. However, this seems Edmund Brack mentioned yesterday, he tweeted that Palace are going to wait and see how he gets on in the next 3 games. JC, what's your thoughts on what's going on with Adam Wharton?
I mean, I stated my opinion on Twitter, and I got quite a bit of backlash, but I still stand by exactly what I said. Adam Wharton came back from England camp for the Euros, and we knew he had an injury. And we're still messing about whether to do anything about it. It's 3 months. That's poor. Like, he should have, like, if it granted, it does take a while to diagnose exactly what's wrong with someone. But having sports science, having, like, professionals in their field, like potentially we're meant to, like, you're in the Premier League, you're meant to have one of the best medical staffs, like, in the whole of the country. And now we're still messing about. Like, you can't tell me that a groin injury, it took that long to actually figure out what it is. Because I'm sure that Adam Wharton came back from England and went, oh, my leg feels a bit tight. And they went, oh, whereabouts? And he pointed exactly where it hurts. And he goes, well, that's a groin. Like, I'm sure that, like, very, like, amateur or mediocre like medical staff could tell you that. I'm sure the NHS could have told you that in a faster time than Palace's medical staff. I've probably got it fixed faster as well, to be fair. But it's just poor. We should have dealt with it ages ago. And really and truly, right now, if we dealt with it snappy, like really a proper club should do, he'd be back. He'd be fully fit. He would have been playing the last few games. Potentially, he might have even been fit for the start of the season if his recovery went well. But now we're in November pretty much, and you know we're still going to wait another 3 games. That's stupid. That's really stupid.
Stupid. But you know what it tells me? Glasner's feeling the pressure. I generally think he's going to play Wharton. If not against Spurs, he's starting him against Wolves. I think he's under so much pressure that he's thinking, crap, let me see these 3 games out with him. Then you go and have your thing. I just need to get some points on the board. I don't like the idea.
He'll probably, because I think he's scared that he'll get sacked in these next few games if he doesn't get at least 1 win.
Yeah.
And I get the fear, but you also have to think about Adam Wharton's 20. What happened when the West Brom manager played Nathan Ferguson through injury? It ruined the rest of his career. And if you're Steve Parish, you probably want that surgery to happen because you don't want Adam Wharton, who, if he plays like he did at the end of last season, you could sell him for 80, 90, maybe even £100 million. Do you really want that massive, like, I wouldn't say investment, but that massive asset to the club? Would you want that to be worth nothing because of a few points? You're going to be looking at the manager before you look at the player. I'm sorry. You have to let him. You have to overrule Glasner here, and you have to say, listen, you've got to make him do that surgery. It's not worth it. It's really not.
Absolutely. And I generally think, look, no, the midfield has a massive hole in it, but I don't think playing Lerma and Hughes as 2 6s and playing someone in the 10 would be an issue for us over the next 3 games. I think it's something we can.
It would be a big issue for us. It would be a huge.
No, I mean, no, but what I mean is, if we had Lerma and Hughes and then a 10, it's a midfield 3.
Yeah.
Not playing Wharton, I'd rather that than play Wharton now, see how it goes, and it gets worse.
The thing is, by doing that, by only having 110, and are you proposing 2 strikers instead then, with that formation change?
Or 4-3-3, or 4-2-3-1.
Because let's say if we do that 110 2 strikers, you're making our fullbacks, which are already vulnerable and with no options, with even less options. If we do that, if you pack out the midfield, we've got less options out wide, and because our fullbacks aren't playing the best, it's probably not the best thing to do. I would say
play 4-3-3 then.
I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't say. I don't think the formation is the problem. I think it's the personnel who's playing there at the moment. Because right now, with this Spurs team, the worst thing we could do is go forward at the back, in my opinion. The worst thing we can do is go forward at the back. Something that we haven't really done very much under Glasner. Granted, we did it under Roy, but we never really were very, very good doing it. This is probably the worst game to try forward at the back. Granted, after this game, 100% go forward at the back. But against Spurs, with how they attack, this is not the right game to do it. No way.
They do attack with quality. How do we then? And I know for those who hadn't seen Tactical, I'm sure you covered it there. How do we then somehow win the midfield battle with the 3-4-2-1 formation? Or do we just keep it as 3-4-1-2? Like, do we tweak it a little bit but keep 3 in the back? Like, how do you never get
that? I think that you play it similar, so you change the personnel, I would say. So obviously you still want your left wing back and your right wing back, but I think you should try and get maybe someone in there that's a little bit more forward thinking, maybe someone a little more comfortable with the ball. I think that Munoz can do a job. I don't think that he's the main problem. I think with Mitchell, though, potentially on that side, it's Brennan Johnson. It's not Son on that side. So you'd rather have Munoz against Son for the experience. But on the other side, it is Brennan Johnson. Granted, he's a great player, but I think you need someone that's got a little bit more about him with the ball. Like, I'm not saying I want this to happen, but you could. There is an argument there to play Schlupp at that left wing back because he's at least comfortable with the ball at his feet. He is able to run with the ball, even though he came on against Forest and didn't do very much. He's still confident enough at times to take on his man. He's still got enough pace to make a yard. You could even play Franco Ume. He had an absolutely storming game for the youth team the other day. So, I don't think that'll be the case because of the fact he played literally the other day. But I think you need someone a little bit more comfortable on the ball to play that left-sided role. But I think that the main change for me would be instead of having both 10s wide, I'd put them both narrow and have a box midfield. So you have literally a 4 in the middle. So 2 6s, 2 10s, and then be very like genuinely just a square in the middle. Because then you can
how we've been trying to play though. Because when you look at Forest,
our 10s are wider 10s. They sort of play in the channel. I want them to be sitting inside 10s where Eze likes to play. And then obviously if the ball goes out, then you can then both of the players in the middle transfer over. So then one of them goes out wide and then the other one stays in the middle. So in effect, you've always got minimum 3 in midfield. But then if the ball's in the middle, you've got 4 there.
Yeah, I think that's what we've actually been trying to play. Because when you look at the Forest game, when Munoz got the ball, everyone was inside anyway. I think the issue that we've had as it stands, for me personally, is the lack of width. And if there is width, there's no support with the width. So trying to get that, because for me, I think the thing that Munoz is missing badly, and the thing we're missing badly, is that when Elisa had the ball, and I hate to take it back to him, but let's just use an example, Munoz could do the underlap or the overlap. Munoz can't do any lap at the moment because he can't even get the ball forward. So it's a bit difficult. Son allegedly is injured.
But they always say that for Son.
You know what might happen, they'll just roll him out and stuff. But
Son is always injured. Son is always injured against Palace. And he always scores against us, even though he's meant to be injured. So I'm not taking none of that nonsense. He's starting, in my opinion.
But even if it's not him and it's Timo Werner, this is why I advocate for 4 at the back. At least it's just not one of our centre-backs coming across to do that. Just leave a space for Maddison in the pocket. Solanke's hold-up play has actually been pretty impressive, as much as his goal tally isn't. And Kulusevski has been very clever in the 10 this season, and Johnson's picked up form. So I don't think it'll be the easiest game for us, regardless. I think that the reason why I advocate more for a change of formation is just so you've got your man, mark your man.
But if we change our formation to 4 at the back, then we can't go man for man at the back anymore. Because, in my opinion, looking at how Spurs attack, obviously they've got a front 3, and then they have 2 10s as well, and then also they sort of attack very similar to Man City. So they've always got 5 men pressing your back line. So surely you'd want 5 defenders at our back line just to counteract that. If we go 4 at the back, then they've got an overload.
But you could also have Lerma and Hughes just tuck in.
Yeah, you can do.
We can still box it in then, which then means if we do lose the ball, we've got more numbers forward.
Yeah.
Break, but
I mean that could work because Lerma has played centre back before, so he could drop into that.
You could just tuck
in.
in.
Need it to.
No, absolutely. It's a conundrum. Like, we're no experts, we're just 2 fans who have an opinion. One of us might be right, one of us might be wrong. I think the most important thing, like I said, we just need to see a bit of fight. Because personally, granted, I don't want to lose. I hate losing games. But if we turned up tomorrow and gave our absolute all, give me 60 minutes. Because I know we've been good for 45. Give me 60 minutes where we're just competing. If it takes Tottenham's quality to beat us, you just put your hands up and say, what can you do?
But that's the kind of performance that will get us over the line against the other teams. And we just need to show that in other games. But It's very Palace, isn't it? Like if we did that Liverpool performance against Forest, we probably beat Forest. If we put that Chelsea performance in against Brentford and West Ham, we probably beat them.
Same
So
with the Man United second half performance.
it's just a Crystal Palace thing. We turn up for the bigger teams, but then the other teams where we should be challenging. I'm not saying we should beat every team. The other team where we should be challenging for points, we were sort of off it. But that's always been a Crystal Palace thing.
No, 100%. Just a few bits from Glasner's press conference. So first he did say, we must be ready to take them on and we have to take our opportunities. The question is, what opportunities?
We've got to make them. Well, apparently we are going to be playing more people on the pitch that are going to score, and he has said also that Mateta is starting.
What is your thoughts on that? What does that mean for us if Mateta's starting?
It's one of two things. Either Nketiah is getting dropped, Nketiah is going back out wide right on the 10 again, or we're going 4-4-2 or something like that. I mean, I agree with what he says. He says it very bluntly. To score goals, you need more players on the pitch that can score goals. That's surely exactly what happens, no? But
you know what's crazy?
I don't know.
I wouldn't mind a 4-4-2. Like Chalobah right back, and this is harsh on Munoz, but
Munoz can't play
right
fullback.
Gay, Lacroix, Mitchell. Left, you can have. I know left mid in his greatest position, but play Ebbs on left midfield. Lerma Hughes in the middle, and then Sarr on the right, and then
Mateta up top.
Eddie and left. Yeah, and the clever thing about it, Mateta can stay up top, and Eddie can just drop off if need be. And if need be, if Eze drifts in, they can just fill in, just cover on the left hand side. You know, and I think 4-4-2 will actually probably be. It'll give us the width, and it'll give us attacking options as well. Because then when you think about it, Lerman Hughes can still be the 2, and Eze and Sarr can bomb on, and we've got 4 going forward. Which is better than the 1 or the 2 that we were trying to work with all season.
Yeah, I do agree, because I know it's not the same quality, let's say, but I do distinctly remember. I think it was in COVID. We were playing against Man United, and we played a 4-4-2, and Eze played in that left midfield role, and Zaha played in that left striker role. So Eze and Zaha were linking up down that left-hand side because Zaha would drift out and help him, and Eze would run inside. And then on the other side, playing that right mid was Townsend. But here we could actually have Sarr. So you could always have that switch to the other side where you have like rapid pace going down that wing. So all of a sudden you go from having no width whatsoever to being able to switch wings as and when and still having 2 guys in the box.
Absolutely. Let's hit some comments actually before we continue talking with Glasner's presser.
Big up everyone. There's a lot of comments here. Big up Animal. I won't put the first one up, but we'll put up this one. Big up Chairman. Looks like JC's wearing the Spurs kit. Unfortunately, I'm wearing the same yellow kit that I always wear. So
I've just seen that Animal come down.
I don't think he's wrong, but big up Tim, big up Ree saying I'm a sweat playing the game. Oh well, who cares? I paid the money for it, so I can play it. Big up yourself, Boomslang CA. I don't think we've seen you around here before. Everyone looked better than us today, huh?
I'll advocate for you, Boomslang. I've seen you in the comments before. JC just doesn't pay attention.
I'm just told read the comment, and it's very abusive. It's definitely looked better than what I've seen from Palace. This all falls on the ownership. Good evening, Agent Ancelotti. Tim, we've been told JP is starting. Do you think he's starting for Eddie or starting with Eddie? I think we kind of covered that a little bit. Big up Sean. I think we should drop Eze. That's a bold claim.
No, I wouldn't
Conversation.
say drop him, but if he's having a stinker, just take him off.
Yeah. Big up Mitch. Big up Damo. Big up
Mitch, come on, we need your support, Mitch.
Big up UK Pat. Pat wants a 4-4-2. He wants Chalobah at CDM. Nah, I'm okay. Animal's laughing at me saying Eze can bomb on. Okay, Eze can stroll through then. And finally, big up Mark. Maybe when just not a good enough team.
Right. So Glasner's saying, listen, effectively, we're not going to get 10 clear-cut chances. But he said we could get 2, 3, or 4, and then we have to score from them. Which, you know what? Based on how the season's been going, there has been times we've created chances. We've just not taken them.
Is it we or is it a certain group of players?
You know what I mean. He did say, I watched yesterday's game against AZ Alkmaar, where they had a lot of chances and changes in the squad. It just shows the strength of their team. So obviously Tottenham rotated. There was one clip I saw, I don't know, one of the youngsters, he did some mad run. Is it Mikey something? Anyway. He mentioned that we had 20 shots in an away game with 7 on target. 8 stats. Those 20 shots were from like 30 yards. 8 stats.
Stats are great, but they can be used in the wrong way. That's what I would say. Yeah. And the way that it's been used there is a very deceiving stat. So granted, that looks brilliant away from home. But I'm sure if you look at the shot map from where all them shots actually went and the actual locations of where they were shot to, because granted, I think 3 or 4 of them were great chances and it was a good save from Sells. But I'm sure the other ones that were on target were either really easy to save or straight at him.
Absolutely. You know what? I was going to bring this up, actually. Now, look, Glasner said something in his press conference, and I know it's going to rub people the wrong way. But like I said, I'm going to give this guy's credit defensively against Forest. He was good. It's a shame, though, because we need him better going the other way. And that's what we need to work on. But Glasner did say on Daichi Kamada, I think he has adapted. I saw a good game from him at Nottingham.
Adapted to what? Sorry.
Hold on, let me go. He won many duels. He had 2 finishes. Maybe he was not that lucky. I know him quite well, so he puts himself also under pressure because he wants to score goals. He has situations and he's working very hard for the team. And so I think he's adapted. Do you think this is already PR from Glasner? Because, you know, the heat on Kamada is crazy. Now, granted, sometimes I think he's scapegoated. I would admit he is scapegoated because there's other players in our team that play poor and don't get the treatment he does. But do you think he's already started the PR machine because he's under pressure? And Kamada is one of his guys.
My question to you is, Palace have a PR team? That's a bit of a bold statement in itself, big man. Every single player that has a stinker just gets hung out to dry at Palace. Even if the manager tries and says something, it's just a long day for the player if they're not playing well. And, you know, like it even happens the other way around. Like even with Hodgson, was it last year or the year before? When he was cussing Ratsaki and França for not being good enough, the fans cussed him as well. And there was no PR machine to stop that. But for me, I don't think Kamada's probably one of them players, yeah, where he'll be like okay to average and then have his bad games here and there. But then the second he goes to a league that's not as intense as the Premier League, his levels will just go up again. I'm almost positive of that because you can tell when he's on the ball, he's a quality player. But right now, Glasner's praising him for doing cardio. And that's poor. Like he's got to be performing, especially from the hassle that we went through to actually get him in the first place, to literally pull him away from Lazio, potentially against his own will. Like all that effort put into this one player, and we haven't really seen anything in any game. Maybe in the Norwich game, but that's like all due respect to Norwich, as championship team, and we should be trying to go and beat them. But you know, he had a good first half, but after that he sort of went a bit distant as well in that game. So Kamada needs to step up a bit, I think, especially with the money he's being paid, being our top earner.
And Animal saying here, and there's something I agree with. This form is a concern. Now, granted, he was very unlucky against Nottingham Forest in the sense of the shots Sells made some incredible saves. We just have to give him the credit for that. But when it's not going well, Anze doesn't take a game by the scruff of its neck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not kind of producing a moment of magic.
He's not that kind of player, though.
But he's also a player that's looking for a move.
Yeah, if really and truly, in my opinion, if you want that Manchester City move, if you want that Bayern Munich move, let's say in the example of Elise, granted, like it's a bit old trying to bringing up Elise every stream pretty much for this whole season. But if you want a move like that, you have to prove to all the big clubs in the world that you are too good to play for this club. And right now, he's not proving that whatsoever. So obviously, you can say Sells made brilliant saves against Forest. But I don't know why it keeps coming back to my head. That chance he had against Manchester United, where he was so casual in front of goal, where he thought he scored even before he kicked the ball.
Both chances,
and he passed it straight at Onana. When if he just put his laces through it, it's a goal all day, every day. He's too casual. He needs someone on the same wavelength, same ability level as himself to really get the best out of him. He's not a guy to do it all on his own. He needs someone else to get that ability out of him. And that's probably the reason why he hasn't got the move, and Michael did. Because when Eze first came in, he had Zaha. He was great. When Zaha got injured, Eze sort of went a bit distant. When Zaha came back, he was brilliant. Zaha left. Elise was, I guess, the replacement to Zaha, where he'd play off Elise. They play together. He was brilliant. Elise gets injured, and he did quite a lot last season, to be fair. We only started cooking when he came back, and after the new formation change with Glasner, obviously new manager bounce and all that. When Elise was gone, Eze was rubbish. When Elise came back, Eze was brilliant. But then if you look at it the other way around, when Eze was gone, Elise was still brilliant even on his own. So that's the difference. That's the level difference there.
Yeah, and we all know that Eze can produce moments of brilliance. I think what he needs to do on the basic level, but that confidence. But I think that confidence will just come from him just doing what he knows he does best. I can't remember the last time I saw him just run at 2 or 3 players. It's like now he gets it. It's kind of like a little lackadaisy little drop of a shoulder to the pass, and sometimes the pass is misplaced. He used to just pick up the ball and just go, "Yeah, I'm going to run at you."
But he did that when he had the confidence of other people.
Yeah, and he had glimpses of that against Forest, to be honest to him. Like, he was doing it again. And I think that will obviously, once again, create space for him, because he's going to get 2 or 3 players targeting because he's a good player. Let's be honest. So if he can get back at just doing that, draw attention to himself by dragging 2 or 3 players, and then we can move the ball and create chances in that aspect as well. There was a comment, and I think this is what we alluded to earlier. Where is it? Martin Ryder. Too much talk of formations, attack as a team, defense as a team. Players just need to win and play for each other. Simple. And I agree with that. I mean, we still got to talk about formations because, to be honest, formations can get picked at. You can play 2 in the midfield, and a team with 3 may overrun it and stuff. It happens in football. So they're still going to have that element. But the simple aspect of fight, that is what we need to see first and foremost. Just fight, compete, urgency, show you want to try and get something from the game. And the crowd will react to that. Sellers Park will react to that. If they see that it's just like walking around and it's just, the crowd will just be like, I mean, the Fanatics will still do their bit. But we've seen Sellers Park's been flat. It's been flat this season. So we'll have to wait and see. Have to see on that. We couldn't get a Spurs guest on. I think more so just because of the time we're doing the stream this time around. But we did get a clip from a Spurs fan, Harry. So really appreciate the fact that he's done that. We'll show you. He's going to share his thoughts on the game. I've not even heard what he said, so this will be interesting to listen to. Hopefully, this score prediction ain't mad. Let's have a look.
Show. So it is Crystal Palace from a Tottenham point of view this weekend. I'm feeling confident going into this game in terms of Spurs point of view. 1-7 content creator and YouTuber. Thank you very much, firstly, for this opportunity, and hope you have an excellent show. So it is Crystal Palace from a Tottenham point of view this weekend. I'm feeling confident going into this game in terms of Spurs point of view. 1-7 out of our last 8 games in all competitions. Before this Thursday night, we won against AZ Alkmaar, got to rest players, as well as keeping up a 100% winning record in Europe. I don't think it'll be easy. I don't think it'll be a pushover. If you look at your games this year, often you've lost by a single goal or two. Unlucky if something's not going your way. And I look at a lot of things in going to Ketia. Was it 13 and a half hours nearly without a goal in the Premier League? You need to goal. Mateta trying to rediscover his form last season. So little things just haven't gone right for you. I think personally you messed up the transfer window. Not taking that big offer in the end from Newcastle, Mark Gay, I think is a mistake. I don't think you're going to quite get that back. And even, I still think he's a top player, but then you realise, okay, we need to still bring some money in. So you let Anderson go to Fulham for 30 million. I think that was a massive mistake. Of course, losing Elise is massive as well to Bayern, and that kind of partnership that Elise and Eze had, almost that Son and Kane, but I think Anderson's your real miss in the window. Hasn't quite clicked yet for Dean Henderson in goal. Adam Wharton as well. Players like that. Decore and Adam Wharton, I believe, are unavailable for this game. But you just don't know what's possible. Players like Eze around. Where you can exploit us, though, although we figured it out, seem to have figured it out, shall I say, this season with set pieces, I still think you have a special player like Eze taking them in and around them. I think that that is where you could exploit us. Also with our high line, look at players like Mateta to hold the ball up and bring players like Eze and Nketiah into the game. So your strengths, and how you can exploit us has got to be sitting back and using the counter attack. Mateta's got to be his absolute best. Eze's got to be his best. We know he pretty much will be. Nketiah, you just got to be clinical and take the chances when it comes round to you. I think if you get the first goal, I think that's quite big as well, and give you momentum. And the fans, I think the Sellers Park are excellent, and we'll get behind you. Score prediction, I'm very sorry. I'm going to go with 2-1 Spurs, but I think you'll make it really hard for us. I think we score a late goal, a late winner. I just think that we have a little bit more depth off the bench. You've got a few players unavailable. We've got a few players coming back. Only Son and Spence unavailable for us for this game. Be interesting to see the way he comes in for Son on the left-hand side. So good luck for the rest of the season. I know you're a London club, but don't have a problem with Crystal Palace, but don't wish you good luck in this game. But cheers, boys. Have a good rest of the show. Cheers.
Big up, Harry.
Big up.
The score prediction was outrageous, which I'm happy about.
He mentioned Anderson. I'm actually sick and tired of the Anderson chat,
I think Tim said it perfectly here. Can we stop with the Anderson hot takes? The deal was always going to happen. Fulham dangled 150 grand a week in front of him. We were never going to match it, and he was always going to go and take it. And 30 million quid flat for a 30-year-old. You can't turn that down. You really can't. But he did bring up an interesting point that I actually forgot about myself, that at the end of this season, if Mark doesn't sign that contract, he's going for half price. And to be fair, he ain't signing that contract after the start of this season, is he? No way.
No, absolutely. I think everyone's just going to be waiting with bated breath for what the lineup's going to be tomorrow. And I think I think the biggest thing is fight. We're not fighting for each other at the moment, and we can't seem to create chances. And we've been very critical of our front four players, and rightfully so. But I don't think we get them into positions to be effective enough, personally. And I think that's because Mark's passing from the back hasn't been as good as it used to be, and he's not running forward with the ball as much as he used to either, which is a bit of a shame.
He started to in the Forest
The
game,
Forest game,
but
yeah,
that was because he'd finally been moved out to that left hand side. Because normally the
yeah,
central centre back doesn't really move very much, but now he was on the left hand side. He started to go up, and I'm sure that if
yeah,
we implement that a little bit more, then I'm sure we'll be fine again
yeah.
with him
But I think
specifically.
there's the one thing we definitely got to do more, in my opinion, is either clip it to the fullbacks or pass the ball in between the lines. Lacroix did that, I think, 4 times against Forest. And if we were able to just trap the ball a bit better, there's opportunities to go forward. But it's a shame that he's the only one that's attempted it. Because I've seen Chalobah. Chalobah can play that pass too. Mark can play that pass too. And I think if we do that, that means we turn the opposition quicker, which gives our forward players an opportunity to get up the field. This also includes Dean Henderson. He needs to pass the ball a bit quicker or just be a bit more accurate with his kicking, which we know is a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I
But
think that's a problem.
the forwards
We
need
don't
to
do
make that
things.
pass available, though. Like, they need to run short and make that pass available. Because in the Forest game, we made it way too telegraphed that Lacroix was going to do
Yeah,
it. That's why it kept getting intercepted.
yeah, I agree. Another aspect of that, and this is where I'm going to give Kamada a bit of like love here. He actually makes a lot of off the ball runs that no one picks up. Now, when you actually watch his movement, he was running in behind, I think 3 or 4 times at first half, and we didn't give him the ball. You know, sometimes that run can be done as a dummy run to create space for other players. Other times it's to actually dink the ball over the top. I think we just got to start doing that. Just knock it into channels a bit more. And this, why are we knocking the ball long to Nketiah, but when it's Mateta, we're trying to run it into channel? Like, make it make sense. I think we need to know our players. We need to be better with doing going forward. You know. Lastly, I think Glasner just has to be a bit braver. He has to be braver. Drop the stubbornness. If things are not working, don't just take off the regular suspects. Be a bit braver. Be a bit braver in your substitutions. I like the fact that he put on Asher. You know, a bit late, but who was to know he was going to put him on anyway? And Asher showed in that 7 minutes or so that he's like, I don't care, I'm going to run at you. Even that in itself makes the other opposition just drop 5, 10 yards. You know, I mean, I'm an advocate. I'm starting. That's just me. That's my.
I think because of the
pie of the sky thinking.
I think with his good, I guess, bright debut, let's say, because that was his first ever Premier League appearance. So having that kind of confidence and ability in his Premier League debut, especially away from home as well, I think that's got to leave him in good stead for getting quite a few bench appearances from now on as well. Because you know that sub happened on the 85th minute. You never know that sub could happen against Tottenham if we're chasing the game maybe earlier, maybe 80, maybe 75, maybe he gets a few more minutes under his belt. And to be fair, I think we need someone with that kind of I don't care, I'm going to run at you because of like France's injury. Like we need someone to sort of fill in that gap to be that explosive player to come off the bench. And because of France's injury, we need someone else. And Agbenone, to be fair to him, he smashed his debut. Even though it wasn't very long, he might actually get a little bit more out of this game. And also, if we do go to that new formation, then he's actually suited to that wide position instead of him trying to play it inside 10. So he'd be actually potentially even better hugging the touchline out wide if we play a different formation.
Pretty much why I've been advocating for a 4-2-3-1 is literally just to start Asher. Like, I don't care. I'll start Asher, put Ebbs in the 10, and then obviously if he's not working, then put Kamada in, so they can be the 10s that keep switching. Sa on the right, one of Nketiah or Mateta up front. But then at least then, we're now utilising a squad where we can take out a player and put another player in like for like, as opposed to square pegs, round holes. And I think that's where we're at the moment. We've got the likes of Eze and Kamada, unfortunately, dropping 10, 15 yards too deep to pick up the ball. They shouldn't have to do that. You know, they shouldn't have to do that. We should be confident to get the ball forward, but we're not.
100%.
You know, and that's why is that the formation change that would help with that, or is that just a bit of intensity? Granted, I understand what Glasner's saying about mentality. It's not easy to pick up when he's just constantly not winning games. It's hard, you know. It's very difficult, but we're gonna have to do it at some point because one thing's gonna happen. We're either gonna keep falling behind. Well, like I said, we're so fortunate that results have gone in our favour this weekend.
And for the last few weeks as well. Let's not forget that. We've been very lucky that we're not further adrift than we already are.
Absolutely. We have been quite fortunate, you know, because Ipswich will be kicking themselves. They'll be kicking themselves today, 2-0 up. You know, granted they scored, I think, an 88th minute equaliser, but they will be kicking themselves, you know. So we've been very fortunate that we've not fallen adrift. And obviously the other side of it is Glasner. You know what I mean? So look, we all know like the board's not helped Glasner whatsoever. You can't be signing 4 players on deadline day. We're already 4 games in. We haven't addressed our fullback cover. This is why, like I said, I'm hoping there's a bit of at least enough turnaround for Glasner to get the January window. You know, but we'll have to wait and see. Because I guarantee, if there's no win between now and Fulham before the next international break, I think he's gone. I think Parish will pull the plug. You know. However, on the flip side, if we can, I know it's 3 games, but if we can get anything from 4 points, then we just keep ourselves steady without drifting apart.
Yeah, we keep ourselves in a shout of it. We're not cast away at that point. Because the thing is, in January...
Oh, snap, Ipswich did lose. I forgot, and Mbeumo scored in the 96th. Even better, sorry.
The thing is, though, in January, we have to be in a shout of doing something or staying up. Because if there's no chance, if we're like 10, 12 points adrift at that point, we won't be buying players, we'll be selling players. Yeah. We'll be going the other way to try and get as much money as possible. So when we eventually do go down, then we've got as much money as possible to spend in that championship. So we have to do something now to get points so that we're not cast away by January. And Christmas period is probably the most important time of the whole season. Because you're playing 3 games a week for like 3 weeks in a row.
That's an intense moment in time where...
And that's when you need the squad as well.
Yeah, we need to get some of our injuries back. Francois, stop making babies, please. Because even just him, like I said, it's just a player that gives something different. We've only seen it in patches. But it's a spark. We know when he gets the ball, he likes to carry it. I think that's what we're lacking the most. Players who want to carry the ball, you know?
Yeah.
So
we've gone from a team full of dribblers to none, basically.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Combined 11.
Are we actually doing this?
I think this is a thing of who are our best players and do they get into Spurs' team? All right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll build Spurs' starting 11, and then we'll try and think of what to do here. Yeah, so because let's be real, we're only getting 3 players in here, and that's only because we have to. So you got
the question will be what 3? Are we basing this on injuries as well?
Nah, man, we got to do it on everyone.
No, everyone's available. Oh gosh, that makes it even harder. So we'll probably get 1 centre midfielder in. I'm trying to think where else.
How do you spell Basuma?
Is it BASOU? YVES. I think that's his first name. Eves. Oh, it's BI. I believe.
Oh, Bissouma. He goes there, and you got Kulu going there. You got Madison going there.
Now, granted, we're doing this once again just in case. Like, bear in mind if everyone was fit and available.
So that's Spurs' best 11, I would say, and that's a good team. I think we're gonna have to say Ebbs purely because at Ebbs' best, I think he's better than Madison. Even though I've been cussing him.
Madison's been decent this year as well.
Oh man, because Kulu's not even a 10, but he's doing sick in the 10.
He's doing really well in that
Okay,
position.
do we just go with a safe bet and put Decore in for Basuma?
Yeah. But I think Basuma's even a better 8 than he is a 6.
Yeah, because he likes to drive with the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, check Decore, one of them.
So that's 1. The thing is, I don't know if I would even change that back 4.
Because Poro's sick. The left back's staying. He's good. He's a bit of a liability, but he's still good though. Hey, this is long. This is long. Oh man.
You know, chat, help us out. Help us out, please, chat.
Maybe. Oh man. Maybe just to get the 3 players in there. Maybe you put Munoz in for Porro.
Poro's cold.
Well, Porro's cold though.
Poro is a good fullback.
I mean, my one is I'm looking at Kulusevski purely because he's not a natural 10, and he's only played the last few games there. Granted, he's been great there, but he's not a natural 10.
How about if you put Kulu back on the right hand side?
Yeah.
For Johnson, and then put Ebbs in.
Okay, and then Romero for Gay maybe.
Yeah. Well, the question would be Romero or Solanke. Which one? I think Solanke was wicked for Bournemouth, by the way. Yeah, he hasn't really been hit the heights for Spurs, but he has been injured. But I saw him against, was it Man United? His hold-up play was ridiculous. Like, he played so well against Man United.
Yeah, chat saying Gay for Romero. I think that's not because he's a good player. I think the fact he's just a liability. I think that's the only reason why Romero doesn't get the rating.
A potential walking red card.
Oh, potential. He is a walking red card. But yeah, that is probably the combined 11. That is probably the
best.
You know what? It's always Spurs, isn't it? That we can never do the combined 11 properly. Like, I think a few years ago it was, oh no, we're rubbish, and then they beat us 4-0. And they wanted to put our whole team in there. And now we're sitting here going, oh man, they're brilliant. Maybe it'll be the other way around. Maybe we'll smash them this time. Who knows? Big up, man.
Harry, so this is Harry who sent us a clip, so go give his channel a subscribe as well, please. Really appreciate that, Harry. To be fair, I messaged him last minute seeing if he was available. He said he wasn't, and he still sent the video through, so yeah, respect that. Go subscribe to Scarfy Spurs Talk. Alrighty. Just before that, I have seen the chat have a back and forth on this Eze Kamada thing. It's actually been pretty interesting.
I've not seen it at all. I was messing around the formation.
It is
Give me a rundown.
It
Give me a
is
rundown.
basically, I think it's Pat versus Animal here.
Oh, I saw Pat
Yeah.
versus Animal. I think Animal asked him, "Have you seen the Muppet Show?"
And you know what? Sorry, because obviously, whilst everything was good, I was just reading it, and look, I agree. Kamada and Animal's right here. He gets scapegoated way too much. I do agree. Eze's not being great either, so we've got to kind of keep the same energy. But I think what Animal was saying to Pat, and I hope Pat hasn't taken any offense to this, was that look, if Eze was getting the same attention Kamada was, I don't think anyone would complain. But it seems as if people are afraid to call out Eze just because of what he may have done in the past when they've both not been good. And bear in mind, Kamada has only played his actual position, started it once, I think. I think every other time he'd maybe come on and the 10 or come in the centre mid. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's only started once in the 10 for us, and that was against Forest. Every other game he's either come on, or he's played in the 10 in a cup game, and he's played all right, or he's been brought on late on into the game, like the Leicester game, where he actually played really well, getting the ball forwards and helping the counter-attacks. So really and truly, he hasn't been given a proper chance in his preferred position. But as you said, the reason why he was so good at Frankfurt is because of the runs he made in behind. But if we're not giving him the ball, then is it really his fault? Probably not.
Absolutely. Big up Daikim. Apologies if I've pronounced that wrong. Herrera gets hate for the reason he doesn't get cards anymore. His underlying stats are elite. I think he's a good defender, to be honest.
This is why I said I think he's a great defender. I think it's just his cards. But, I don't watch Spurs because I'm a Palace fan. But basically the consensus of the media is he gets cards for fun.
Yeah.
So
I like him because he's aggressive.
That's really why my opinion's like that.
Yeah. I like it because he's aggressive. I don't think you see aggressive centre backs no more. Because of this whole trying to play out from the back. He will smash you. Like he'll thank you. You know what that whole saying, let them know that you're there. Pause again just in case. But like he'll two-foot you and win the ball, sort of thing. So yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else as you get your giggles out.
That was a mad ball. He don't care. He will smash you. Oh, never a dull moment.
Man. I guess that's about it, really. Oh, score predictions, you said.
Man's been trying to wrap this up for 30 minutes.
I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs, unfortunately.
I went very confident. Very, very confident. And I said, the fact that every single time we've lost this season, it's only been by one goal. So I've gone 1-0 Spurs.
That's a point, actually.
Because I think that against a bigger team, we do turn up. We play a lot better. We lost 1-0 against Liverpool at home not too long ago. Granted, we don't even think we played that well, but we still kept back Liverpool, who are probably the most informed team in the country right now. So I do think we've got it in us. We've got it in us to draw that game. We've got it in us to potentially even win that game. But I think 1-0 Spurs, I think it's if it's 1-0 Spurs and we have a really good go at it and they purely pip us to quality, as you said, I wouldn't be upset with that result.
That's this question. Animal and Pat. For the match reaction,
Rap battle.
which will be for the match reaction, which potentially could be. Oh no, I'm busy Monday. Oh sugar. Maybe maybe sometime middle of next week, and let us know. Either let us know here, or just drop us a comment, or tweet us at Eagle Eyed Ball on Twitter, wherever it may be. would you want to do a stream? It could be live, it could be pre-recorded, where you debate this as a. Because I find it intriguing, but it'll be great for you to vocalize. Let me know if that's something you want to do. We're happy to host it on the channel because I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's an interesting topic. So we'll leave that in your hands. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But yeah, JC will be there tomorrow.
Why are you not there?
I said we will be there tomorrow.
Oh. I thought you said JC would be there. I was thinking, where are you gonna be, big man?
I'll pause that by the way. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll have fan cams. So that's Mitch. I know you said that you're not sure if you're coming. Come down, come and have a fan cam. Come speak to us after the game. Anyone else who's at the game, feel free to come to speak to us. We'll be outside the fan zone. And yeah, listen, we just hope that we can just put in a performance and hopefully get something up this game. So yeah, anything else, JC?
Up the palace, isn't it?
As
Eagles.
always.